Ahoy, hoy, brothers. Avi here. I hope you can hear me over the wind here at Yellowstone Lake in Yellowstone National Park. Now, before I tell you what I'm going to talk about today, I want to say something first. I think it's very important to voice the following. The purpose of this series, as will now be linked in the description of these videos, is to show people that the common misconception, small towns aren't interesting, is quite misguided. Just because a specific town isn't interesting in one area, doesn't mean it doesn't have hidden significance. A good example of this is a common logic puzzle that can be applied. The logic is as follows. Suppose that a specific town is actually totally and completely without any interesting history at all. That very fact, that it has no interesting history, makes it interesting. Why is the town like that? What caused it to be that way? And is that going to change? So the goal of this YouTube series is to show that in addition to the large, all the small towns of America and the world have a rich history if only they were to be looked at from a different perspective, such as a scientific one. To that accord, the way I will demonstrate this in the YouTube series Paleontology Across the U.S. is of course through a paleontological, archaeological, and geological mindset. Finally, and this is one of the most important bits, it is incredibly imperative to understand that although some places may have a seemingly plentiful supply of amazing fossils of any particular kind, unless monitored and authorized by scientific authorities, people should not attempt to remove fossils from the earth themselves. That being unless, of course, they are both qualified and have permission from the aforementioned scientific authorities such as local or governmental paleontologists, archaeologists, or geologists. As a result of this, most national parks already have rules in place prohibiting such behaviors, but still it is important to note, and it is also good to list the reasons why such behaviors are prohibited. To my understanding, this is partially because most people don't have the scientific equipment needed to both document and preserve such fossils, not to mention the ability to protect them, or necessarily the knowledge to know if they have discovered something new or particularly important. I think this is why such regulations are in place, and I hope that clears it up somewhat. Now, with that aside, we get to the topic of our video. The amazing chestnuts of Yellowstone National Park. No, the real topic of our video is the truly fantastic Brontotheres. Brontotheres are a member of the Titanotheres. Titanotheres referring to, quote, any member of an extinct group of large-hoofed mammals that originated in Asia or North America during the early Eocene epoch, some 50 million years ago. Brontotheres, specifically, are an extinct member of the family Brontotheriidae and the genus Brontotherium, defined by, quote, large, hoofed, herbivorous mammals found as fossils in North American deposits of the Oligocene epoch, 36.6 to 23.7 million years ago, and first appeared in the fossil record about 56 to 35 million years ago. They resemble rhinoceros, but in fact are more closely related to horses than the modern rhino. Some of the other defining features of the Brontotheres are the fact that they have 4 toes on their front feet and 3 toes on their back feet, as you can see in this illustration. And of course, they are known for their distinctive pair of horns, which are described as protruding from the front of the animal's skull, starting out as one and then dividing into 2 separate ridges, as shown. In addition, quote, adult Brontothere stood up to 2.5 meters, about 8 feet, high at the shoulder, and had primitive teeth evolved for consuming, quote, relatively non-abrasive vegetation. Relatively non-abrasive vegetation. But alas, the Brontotheres did eventually go extinct during the Oligocene epoch. This is likely due to the dry climate and lack of vegetation that it brought. That concludes another chapter of Paleontology Across the U.S. Thank you so much for watching. Sources in the description. Brontotheres specifically are a member of an extinct member of the member.
Ahoy, brothers! Avi here. I hope you can hear me over the wind here at Yellowstone Lake and Yellowstone National Park.